Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 119 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and we have a great show in store today. We're lucky enough to be able to show you both sides of a duplex in LaFoy Place. And in the second segment, we're going to be all about...
We're going to talk about what sellers should disclose on their seller's disclosure statement.
And that's a really important one. We hope you'll tune in when we get to that. But it's cold outside and it's warm inside.
It is very cold outside.
I think it's very interesting because this is always my birthday weekend, and I'm always like so ready for it to be over with this cold weather. And I always feel like that I always get snow or get sleet on my birthday. So it looks like it will continue again as it is.
Yep, that's true. That is true. It's always that time of year when I used to go to Mardi Gras every year, and you never really knew whether Mardi Gras was going to be cold or wet or beautiful, and it's just a total roll of the dice being this time of year.
It is interesting that you mentioned Mardi Gras because I see right now that a lot of the people in New Orleans are doing what are called Yardi Gras, and so actually decorating their houses.
Oh, totally. It is all over the place.
So that just means to me that they don't sell a lot of real estate during February, I guess? Or is it better for a house to be decorated for Yardi Gras?
Most of that takes place right there in the French Quarter and around in those surrounding neighborhoods. And, they have some real weird sign restrictions anyway. So usually there's, signs in the window and signs hanging from under the porch. And so
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if Yardi Gras makes its way to Dallas because, Bishop Art District really got into Mardi Gras and they did the
race
run.
For the beads,
you did the run several times.
So it'll be interesting.
With Tamara.
Twice.
I think there's actually pictures of you online right now. So it'll be interesting to see if we see that tradition carry all the way up here or not.
It's really interesting.
I'll need to find some, green, purple, and gold bunting to go. So we'll see.
Well, yeah, and I think you've only got a couple of days. Was this Fat Tuesday?
I don't know.
No,
Jason, is today Fat Tuesday?
Next week, because Ash Wednesday would be the day after, so that would be...
You know who's going to know? Hey, Zach, in the comments, put down when Fat Tuesday is, because I know you know. Zach actually hails from Louisiana.
Covington.
And so that man...
outside Baton Rouge.
That man knows.
Yes.
He knows his way around it, so we'll see. Anything else going on? I think the market has really picked up.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely seeing that spring surge of listings coming on the market. There's a lot more buyer activity. I think we were working, kind of organizing everything yesterday, and I think we've got 8 or 9 buyers that we're working with right now, and inventory coming on in the next 2 weeks or so. So definitely uptick in the market. It is
interesting, and I feel like we've done a really good job so far of we got the to-do list from one of our clients, and we agreed that was everything that needed to be done this morning before it goes live. And it's just really getting your ducks in a row right now to make sure that you're able to capitalize on where the market is and make sure that the very first day on the market that we call it lights, camera, action, and it is all cylinders are hitting. So
that's Tuesday the 16th.
The
Tuesday
16th.
So that is next Tuesday is Fat Tuesday, and the following day is Ash Wednesday.
Next Tuesday's Fat Tuesday.
Yep.
What will we do?
I don't know. We could
stay tuned.
We'll be on here and have, I don't know, maybe church service next Wednesday for Ash Wednesday. So
what's the drink?
Repent for all our sins.
What's the drink though? That they drink?
The hurricane?
Is it a hurricane?
Oh, trust me, the hurricane is not the only thing they drink.
Apparently someone has years of experience over there.
Wow. Yeah. I remember most of those years.
Do you? It's cute. You think so?
I have to say, I'm going to Mardi Gras. The first year I went with one group of friends, and it was okay time. The second year I went with just one buddy at the time, and we landed, went straight to the bar. We still had our bags with us. We went straight to the bar to have a drink, and ran into another mutual friend who turned and introduced us to another group of friends. And so now 20 years later, I'm still very close friends with at least 7 of those people.
That is amazing that y'all can remember that.
Talk on the phone once a week, and yeah, it's just.
That's-
And then I live here. We're all over the country. It's just
Gary and who's the guy from New York?
Gary, Anthony, Fred,
Anthony.
Craig.
That's
Oh
right.
God, Lou.
Interesting. I do have friends that do the Bacchus Parade, and they love the Bacchus Parade. They say it's amazing. So maybe someday I'll have to get. You've done it?
No, Zach said the drink is the grenade.
The
Oh, the
grenade.
grenade.
Oh wow, Zach's working on the date and the drink. There we go.
Those things are hardcore.
Yeah, maybe we won't have those at the show. I can't imagine where it goes.
We can. It'll be Ash Wednesday. I mean, that's the end of Mardi Gras is at midnight Tuesday.
Oh,
So it is.
are you making this up?
No, I'm dead serious. I really am. That's okay. So Nick.
Back to real estate.
Anyway, yeah. Let's go back to real estate.
Apparently, we're not Mardi Gras aficionados.
Damn, you're not.
Okay, we're calling Balfour. Balfour will know. I need to. I'm going to dial a friend. Jay Balfour. I don't trust any of this going on right now. Goodness.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So we're going to take a look at 2 duplexes. And it's
Yes.
very interesting. So typically what we do is we talk about both the locations, but since these are in the same location, we're just going to go ahead and start off the beginning of the show of this segment and talk about where they are. And it's
Yes.
a really great location of Dallas.
Yeah, it really is. So it is one duplex, but the each half is a separately owned half, and both of those happen to be for sale. And they are, if you were to purchase one of these, you would live within about 5 blocks of my house, so you'd have really great neighbors. The location is really got a lot of walkability to it. There are all kinds of restaurants all up and down through there. There's Mexican food restaurants and sandwich restaurants and Asian restaurants, and there is so much for you to do in that immediate area. Within a half a block, there is a small off-leash dog park that's on the backside of I think it's called Central Christian Church. That is on West Side, right there in Highland Park.
Oh, that's right. That is right. And the other thing too is this is a really great commuter neighborhood. So whether you're having to get onto the toll road, it's right there and it's easy to jump on Wycliffe and get over. 35, you can go the other direction on Wycliffe and you can be right on there. This allows you to get in and out of downtown. One of the great things too is it's really close to UT Southwestern and to Parkland. So if you're coming here as a resident or as a student, this is a great location because it allows you to actually be on site probably for your 5 a.m. rounds. And so it's an easy thing. Commuting using Love Field, again, that's just as simple. And what is it, 25 minutes for you to get to DFW from there?
Something like that. It's very quick.
So they've done a lot. The other thing too is I think that if you get over to 35, that is the lowest spot where you can get on those express lanes now. So if you're heading into the mid-cities or over to Fort Worth, this is a really great way to jump onto those as well. So you can get to and from pretty much the Metroplex from this spot. It's a really great one.
It is. I've lived in that same location for 30 years now, and it is that the number one reason that I have loved it is because of the convenience for everything. Anywhere you want to be, you're 20 or 25 minutes away at the most.
And he's not kidding, because I house sat for him one time when he was on vacation, and I was like, wow, no wonder you don't want to go anywhere. It's so easy to get everywhere from this spot. I get it, plus it's a half acre, so what's there not to like?
Yep.
So this is the 3707 Dorothy. This is a 2-bedroom, 2 full bath, 2 half bath, and it's a 2-car garage. What's unique about this is that it's over 3,000 square feet. So
On 3 levels.
yeah.
So 3707 is the half that you are seeing on the left-hand side of the screen there. And it's got really great drive up. It's a contemporary build, really, really nice size windows, some mature landscaping there. The really cool thing is that as the owner of each side, you really get to do what you want with the yards on those.
So this was built in 2006, and it still rings true today what so many of today's buyers want. They want open space, and that gives you a lot of flexibility. And as we've seen, all with the way that the pandemic has reshaped the way that we use our houses, flexibility is really the name of the game. The way that they've situated this fireplace here gives a nice architectural divide, both from the living room and the dining room, provides a little bit of difference, but it still keeps it wide open. You can see here that there's actual additional 110 outlet and cables for you to be able to hook up your TV, and then it pitches into a really great and open kitchen.
Yes, it does. And these have granite countertops on them, the light birch cabinetry with the flat fronts that I think also gives it that real contemporary feel. That all opens to a really nice dining room, pendant lighting there. The appliance package in the kitchen is all stainless steel and with gas cooktop. And it's just it's a very comfortable room to, I think, and certainly big enough to really be able to cook well in.
And one of the things to point out is how much natural light you saw there in the kitchen. There was transom lights and also the windows that opened up. But you can see here, as you kind of just look in the middle of the photograph, you can see that light coming through down the hallway. Light is one of those key elements in this unit. Here we see that they've done a really great job with adding the marble detailing around the peek-through shower there. And there's also a fireplace, and it's a pass-through fireplace. One of the elements that just adds a lot of heat, a lot of usability, but just a lot of ambiance as well.
And they've used a lot of really interesting products in this one with the tile you saw in the last shot. This has a humongous closet. I mean, it's really a great sized closet. And you go across the second floor, and this is the guest room on the second floor, and also has its own ensuite bath. Nice big windows, travertine surrounds, granite countertops with the vessel sink.
And as we talked earlier about additional living space, flex space, here we have a living room on the second floor. So it gives you that ability to divide, use the house completely, and everyone to still have their own space. Large window transom windows also give you that light, and a small step out right here as well. So again, we're not feeling like we're living inside of something that's too blocky and unlit. Going to the third floor.
Really great game room up here, big enough for a pool table, obviously. Great location to just come and hang out, bring friends over. There's wet bar up here with ice maker, microwave. You really don't have to run back downstairs for much of anything when you're entertaining.
And then this is what steps out of the third floor. And this is a large, and I wish we had the measurements, probably close to, I would say, a 24 by 17. Enormous outdoor space. Great high pony wall between you and the other side, which gives you privacy. It is an enjoyable space, and again, as someone who has owned one of these spaces, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was critical. This is a quick shot of the outdoor space that's off of the front of the house as well. So you can see you have multiple places where you can sneak out, relax, and take in some fresh air.
And then outdoor, you've got room for the pets. You've got this little side yard that could be the doggy run, where if you just wanted to be able to turn them loose, they've got a place to go.
And so this is 3707 Dorothy Avenue. It's a 2-bedroom, 2 full, 2 half, 2-car garage. Built in 2006, it's 3,024 square feet, comes in at $829, and that's $274 a foot.
That is a great value for that area too.
And we want to say thank you so much to Josh Vernon for allowing to feature the home. It's amazing. As we always tell you, in the comments below, there will be a link that you can click on to get more information about this home. We would love to hear what you think. And if this is something that you would like to see, let us know and we can make that happen.
Absolutely. And in our second half of this, we're just going to jump right into the video today. We've already talked about the location. I think being 4 foot next door probably has all the convenience of the others. So this is 3709 Dorothy Avenue. And we've got something a little bit different on this one because we have what's called a Matterport tour. And we're actually going to be able to give you a walkthrough in this house. And so as you come in the front door, you've got this really nice big open living room, much like you did on the other side, but they've used completely different surfaces for this side.
Yep, so the colors are a little bit different. Square footage wise, we're looking at 35 48 square feet, so it is larger. And they've done just a couple of extra things by making the staircase bend around, but you still have the fireplace between either side. And this Matterport video that we're showing you, it's interactive. So as you can see, there's little circles on the floor, and you click on those and are able to walk around. One of the great things about this is that you can do a 360 spin. You can also look above your head and look down. It's a really great way to, if you're a buyer that can't get out, or maybe you're not comfortable going out and previewing, this is a really great way to take in a property and know if this is something you need to get out and see.
And this one also has the solid surface countertops. It has a little bit different configuration in the kitchen. This has a 5-burner cooktop, gas cooktop, and here's your powder room that's right off of that living area. It's in the same location as the other one was. They did do different surfaces in this one, which I think make it a completely different feel than the other.
They have, but yet there's still a little bit of similarities. Here we're going to take and jog upstairs. This is that second living room, and you can see that there's a difference in the feel once furniture gets laid out. Again, I can't overemphasize how important it is to have these nice spacious windows. They give the light, the room, the warmth that it needs to be able to feel comfortable and usable. And as you see here, we'll scooch over into the master bedroom here. And this, again, large king size, large nightstands. That's a really good way to figure out how big a room is. And then you can see there's also additional space on either side.
And the master bath on this one is really gorgeous. It has the big tile. I think those are the 24 by 36 tile on the floor, dark countertops, undermount sinks, polished, nickel polished hardware on this. And we're going to come back into the master bedroom and then go back into the hallway. Also, the space you see directly across from you with the window in it is another little additional space that's finished out in this one. That is an outdoor patio on the other one.
So it also, you can see we've got great closet space, but in the master there's also a little bit of space that is great for another office if you needed it. So again, we're talking about how do we use a place, how are we flexible? And one of the things people always ask is, where do I put all my things? These 2 units have so much storage that you really won't worry about it. Again, you can see here they've taken those 1x1 or 2x2 tiles, I'm not sure what they have, created really strong architectural wall detailing in the bathroom. I believe downstairs it was red, upstairs it was blue, but again, you see the continuity of these. We're gonna run upstairs, and again, you've got this great 3rd floor spacing.
Mm-hmm. And this is what they were using is the game room. In the other one, they show you what flexibility this has, where they've created an office and like a reading room and a little sitting area for people. And then once again, you have the rooftop deck going outside. You've got really treetop views of downtown, but you've got a lot of flexibility in how to use this space, whether it's with gas grill up here or the sun chairs like they're using with this. You can do whatever you want.
This upstairs to me on the 3rd floor is such a winner because you've got light coming in from 2 sides. I think it does such a great job just to be easy to work there. Here's another view of what the deck and the roof look, or what an undecked roof area looks like.
Mm-hmm. And you are able to deck this portion of it if you'd like. So you really have, in essence, 2 outdoor decks in this one.
That is a lot of space. So we'll kind of, as you see, he's doing a great job of navigating us. You can see all the way down. And as a quick trip, boom, we're back down. They've taken and gone ahead and put I think this is called black Tejas that they've used as the stone versus the green.
The artificial turf on the other.
But you can see how well it works. Enough space for a little doggy, or if you just need some outdoor space for grilling, this will do it.
Yep. So this is a 3709 Dorothy Avenue. Again, a 2-bedroom, 2 full bath, 2 half bath, 2-car garage, built in 2006. This one's a little larger at 3,548 square feet. And this size is priced at $884, and that's about $249 a square foot.
Yep. And again, we want to say thank you so much to Josh Vernon for allowing us to feature the home. Check out the links in the comment and let us know what you think.
And thank you for joining us right now, and we'll be right back after this message.
There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the second segment of episode 119 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I wish you could have been in the studio because we almost had a snafu. Jason and Jeff were just having a conversation. And all of a sudden, Jeff goes, I think we're about to go live. Never dull. Never. The phone's ringing for a syndication any minute now. I can feel it. Can feel
Come
it,
on,
people.
HGTV. Come
Look
on.
out. Golly. All right, so what we're going to do in the second half is we're going to talk about how important it is to discuss seller's disclosures and what you need to. And it's so important, as Jeff and I were talking about this before the show, we really think that these are elements that are important for both sides for different reasons, but at the end of the day, it really does protect you.
Yes. Yeah.
It is your one chance to be protected.
Yes, and the seller's disclosure statement really wasn't even implemented until 1994, and so
Right.
it's a fairly, I'm going to say a fairly recent phenomenon of within the last 25 years. Prior to that, there was really no written requirement for one. There were disclosures that sellers made, but they were very simple and very antiquated.
And so seller's disclosures are not all equal. There are some seller's disclosures that are much longer and some that are extremely short and kind of generic, if you ask me. But our company has taken on, and we have a very long seller's disclosure. And we find that it really does help in negotiations. It helps understanding the transaction. It helps really make sure that a transaction finishes and closes.
Yeah, the one of the benefits that I see for sellers in making as accurate a disclosure is, number one, it's going to protect you from lawsuits by making a correct, accurate disclosure. But number two, especially in today's market, when a house comes on the market, many times there are multiple offers on it, and in that process of that, the seller provides a seller's disclosure statement. And if the disclosure statement really doesn't accurately reflect the condition of the property, that buyer may do their inspection and terminate the contract and then walk away, and that really does hurt a seller in terms of being, being on the market. Because if a contract terminates, the first question the next buyer's agent asks is, "Well, why to terminate? What do they find?"
And you're not required to provide the inspection report from the past buyer, but you do need to adjust your seller's disclosure to reflect new knowledge that you've been made aware of. And so it gets cumbersome at that point, and you've then kind of used up your best days, which are your first days on the market, and that's really important, I think.
It really is. And looking at it from a buyer's perspective, the buyers want the disclosure statement completed because they're able to negotiate with more information. Everybody's got a clearer picture of what the condition of the property is. The trouble it creates for the buyer is if the buyer, when they go under contract, they're going to deposit earnest money. They're almost always going to buy an option period in which to terminate, and then they're going to hire an inspector to come out and do the inspection. So they're going to have, between the option fee and the inspection, they're going to have $600 or $700, $800 worth of money that is gone if they terminate that contract. So, it's really to the buyer's advantage also to make sure that they get an accurate disclosure from the sellers.
Absolutely. And part of the seller's disclosure can address a multitude of things. It can address your HOA, which is really helpful when you're in condos and townhomes in the suburbs as well, because it gives you a realistic expectation of what your financial responsibility is on a monthly basis. Also, what you might need to insure or what you get to omit because it's carried in your hazard insurance by the actual HOA. Things also would be plumbing, roofing. A lot of times we tell our clients that there is a checkbox for unknown. or NA, and that is 100% okay. And I think people get a little stumped that is okay for them to do, but it completely is if there's no knowledge.
Yes. And the disclosure statement that our company uses, taking one step back, so our state legislature defines what information has to be disclosed as a minimum. And they've actually got the Texas Real Estate Commission has promulgated a document that shows all of those items that have to be talked about. Our company seller's disclosure statement goes a lot further in that into a great detail, because again, we feel like the fair thing and the right thing to do with real estate transactions is disclose.
Yes, 100%. And that is one of the ways that you can keep yourself out of any type of trouble after the contract is executed or after it's actually closed. So these are things you definitely want to talk about. Some of the questions that we always have are who has to make disclosure. And I think this is really interesting because there's a lot of gray areas maybe, or misinformation that is not. So what are the ones that don't have to disclose?
So I'm going to just run through my list real quick. If the property is being foreclosed upon, the owner has no obligation to provide a disclosure statement to the bank that's doing the foreclosure. If they're giving it back to the lender with a deed in lieu of foreclosure, where the official foreclosure process doesn't take place, but the borrower or owner is signing the property back over to the lender, they don't have to make a disclosure then either. The lender, when they foreclose on a piece of property, has no obligation to provide a disclosure statement as part of that foreclosure process.
That's correct.
So at the foreclosure process, the lender may be buying it back. There may be a different party that also bids on the property that wins it at that, or buys it at that foreclosure auction, and then there's no disclosure statement that's required in that either.
So it's also true that you don't have to make a disclosure if it's part of a divorce.
Correct.
There's no reason for that. An occupied new residential home. So we see this a lot of times, that there is no seller's disclosure to go with a home in a master planned community or a new high rise or a mid rise. That is a-okay, because you're going to do your own inspection. At that point, we usually turn those over to the builders and address everything that's on those.
That's correct. If the spouses are selling property to one another, or if there is a transfer to a direct relative, there's no disclosure statement that's required. There's none that's required as part of a divorce. If the sale is to or from a governmental entity, there's no disclosure statement required there.
And here's a little one that took me a minute to kind of understand. It said a home whose value represents 5% or less of the property value as a whole. And I was trying to wrap my head around that. And basically we're talking about the lot is worth so much more than the actual house itself, that there is no disclosure that is required. There's a set number and it's 5%. So it really would take a really large piece of property sometimes to make that count.
Yeah.
Or the house
or
have
really,
to be in like
really
terrible burnout condition.
Right. Push it over.
It is also interesting who has to make a disclosure, because that is where people get a little more confused, that they are now required to make it.
Yeah, the one that I think has the most confusion on it is that when people inherit a property through the process of that, the executor or whomever is operating in this official capacity of transferring that property from the estate to a new owner, and whether that transfer is occurring to an heir, or if it's being sold, the executor has no responsibility to do a seller's disclosure statement on that. But so if that property gets transferred to an heir, like say that you inherited a piece of property from one of your family members, in that transfer to you, there's no disclosure statement, but because you own it, if you were to turn around and sell it, you would then be required to provide a seller's disclosure statement.
Absolutely. And so that is one of the keys. You really need good guidance on this. One of the other things that we see people doing is creating trusts, irrevocable grant trusts. And those are created, and they still are required to provide a seller's disclosure. Just because it's not in that person's name doesn't mean you're going to be scotch-free. So it is something to think about.
Yeah, it really is. So
I think the one thing to remember about disclosures is that if you don't disclose is that your neighbors will disclose for you.
Yes,
And there
that
is
is-
no ifs, ands, or buts. They will immediately, if there is a rift between a seller and the neighbor, the first thing that neighbor is going to do is walk over to the new homeowner and ask them how X, Y, and Z repairs were handled. It is guaranteed they're going to do that. I think before we close, let's do, people always ask, do they have to be notified about death on the property? And that's a really important thing because it really goes back to like people are comfortable or not comfortable with just the facts.
Yeah, you are only required to provide that kind of disclosure if it was a result of a violent death. And so suicide, murder, that all of those things, you would need to disclose that. There are, I think anytime there is a death on the property that you have knowledge of, it's probably a good course to disclose that, just because it is one of those things that some people internally,
Can't.
would not buy that house over. And, that,
It would just not become an option for them to actually live in the house.
right.
And again, like we just said, your neighbors are going to tell them.
Yeah. So disclose.
It is the key to a happy transaction.
It is.
Well, we hope you have found this very interesting. Again, we've got the comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And as the market heats up, if you're looking to buy or sell, let us know. We'd be happy to help out you with that transaction.
Thank you for joining us at lunch today.
And we remember, we want to be your realtors for life.